So this is basic setup number 4, dashboard setup. In today's class, I'm going to train you on how to set up a basic dashboard. A dashboard is pretty much the look of the system when you're using the desktop application. It's highly customizable. For the purpose of today's class, I will show you the basic setup. These are kind of things that I would recommend having at least. There are a lot more things you can add to it. However, just for the purpose of today's class, you've put people in the system. You've created your schedules. Now we need to kind of tell the system how we want to display those schedules. And so for today, I'm going to be showing you how to put in 4 schedule views. This is, I guess, the best way to describe them. Now, you'll notice when I signed in, my screen may look a lot different than your screen right now, only because you don't have, or you might not have, a dashboard set up. Which is, we're going to start from scratch today. I'm going to show you how to put in, tiles and tabs and how to customize it, but at a very, basic level. This is the minimum that you need for your system. Now, when I log in, this screen, this giant, chunk of real estate right here, this is the dashboard. Now, a dashboard is just a collection of screens and tiles that you can assign to people, whether you want to have department-specific dashboards. So if you'll notice, if we go to Profile up at the top, I have a drop-down, and these are all my different dashboard profiles. So like I have a profile just for records, where I'm only showing records, schedules. I have a patrol dashboard where I see, just patrol schedules. So it's up to you whether you want to have kind of like department-specific profiles where you can only see, that department's schedules and no one else. You can have a kind of like a master dashboard where you just have, schedules for everyone in your agency. It's totally up to you. But so going back to a general dashboard, you'll see that, like I said, this screen right here is our dashboard, and the dashboard consists of tiles and tabs. So this, let's go to this one. So I have this daily schedule tab down here, and it's just showing me all my daily schedules. You'll notice it's kind of almost broken up into like panes or windows. Each window is a tile. So for your daily schedule tab, each shift is treated as its own daily schedule. And what I mean by that is this tile right here is only showing the daily schedule for patrol day shift. This one is only showing for patrol night shift. So for today, the only schedule where we're going to have multiple tiles are the daily schedules. That way you can show a daily schedule for specific shifts. Whereas if we went to, say, the weekly schedule, it's just one big tile because it's showing everyone. It's, obviously organized by group. So you can do that. The next schedule we're going to go over how to put in is a monthly schedule, which looks very similar to the weekly schedule. I will show you how to put in a yearly schedule where you can select a specific employee, and you can just pull up what they're working for the year. As you can see, a lot of our schedules are grid-based because it's the easiest to understand. Has good readability, and so all of these schedules will show time off and overtime entries, as well as regularly scheduled work entries. So it's very straightforward. I'm going to show you how to put these in, how to put in your settings for what you want to see, and after this class, because like I said, we do offer a lot of different tiles, showing a lot of different information. After this class, you'll have the knowledge necessary to go ahead and kind of play with your own dashboard, put in tiles that would benefit your department the most. You'll know how to set it up and stuff. So there is a certain level of kind of playing around that you need to do if you want to really customize your dashboard. Go in, you see what tiles are beneficial to you, what tiles you might not need, things like that. So that's the first half of this class. The last half of the class is setting up a web dashboard. Now, a web dashboard is, in a nutshell, the daily schedule for the website side of this scheduling system. You're just going to be putting in, you're just going to tell the system what shifts you want to show per profile. So like I said, you can have department-specific profiles. If you want to have a finance profile and then a records profile, if you want to keep everything separate, you can do that. Or if you just want to have one big, kind of master web portal dashboard where you're just showing all shifts. Setting up a web dashboard is very easy, as you'll see later on in this class. But that's overview of what a dashboard is, what it's used for, and things like that. So before we actually get into starting from scratch and putting in a brand new one, the microphones are unmuted. Does anyone have any questions before we get into actually setting it up? All right, so we'll go ahead and get right into it. So like I said, the first dashboard is going to be for the desktop application, and it's composed of tabs and tiles. So everyone right now, if you haven't done this before, you should have a kind of like a default profile already created that's pretty much just empty. If you don't, however, I'll show you how to create one from scratch. So the first thing we need to do if we ever want to make a change to the dashboard, right, we need to, what I like to call, go into edit mode, and we do that by clicking on edit dashboard. And now we know that the screen is ready to be modified because all of the tiles now are blue and we get these buttons over the tile. We also get our main screen designer menu. So this is kind of like an edit menu, right? These are all menu options where, we can add a tab, maybe rename a tab, remove a tab, move the tabs over if you want to see like weekly schedule before or after monthly schedule, things like that. Also how to, this is where we go to put in a brand new profile or edit a profile name. We can copy profiles and delete profiles as well. So if you already have a profile, like in profile, it might say default or something like that. If you want to rename it, you can just click edit profile name and it will ask you, what do you want to change it to? You can just type over what's in there, press OK, and it will rename that profile for you. Now, if you don't have a profile, we need to create one. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm just going to click Add Profile from the main screen designer. And now it's asking me, okay, what do you want to name this profile? I'll call this profile, let's see, admin profile, where I'm only going to, this is going to be like a master profile. When I'm done, I press OK. And now you'll see that I kind of have an empty dashboard, right? I only have one tab with nothing in it. The tab is called Default. So what I usually like to do, and you don't have to do this the exact same way I do it, I like to set up my tabs first so I kind of have a rough outline of where things are going. And what I mean by that is, I'll put in my tabs but not put in the tiles yet. The tabs are how we know, what we're looking at. So instead of default tab, I'm going to rename it daily schedule. So I go, as long, this is the only tab I can have selected. I have no other tabs to click on. So now when I click edit tab name, it's going to say, okay, what do you want to name this tab? Put in daily schedule, and boom. Now my tab says daily schedule, so I know when I click on this tab, I'm going to get all my daily schedule tiles. I'm going to click Add Tab to add another tab, and I'm just going to name this Weekly Schedule. So now once again, it's an empty tab, but at least I know what needs to go in here. I'm going to add another tab, call it Monthly Schedule, and one more called Yearly Schedule. So I have 4 empty tabs right here. So let's go ahead and start populating these tabs. For whatever tab you want to edit, you just have to click on it, and it will pull up that tab. And now let's talk a little bit about what these buttons mean. So before I actually start putting anything in, these buttons allow us to modify this tile. Like I said, right now it's just one big tile that we can split up into kind of like panes, right? Every pane will be a tile. So if we want to just have one big tile, we click this green button. This is to add a brand new tile into this space. We do have another button down here. It's grayed out. This is an edit button. So if you already have a tile in here, but maybe you need to adjust the settings for that tile, this button will be lit up, and you can click on it, and it will bring up the settings that are already put in for that tile. These 2 buttons in the middle are to split the window. So we can split it horizontally, we can split it vertically. So here's an example of splitting it horizontally, and now you'll notice I have this big tile was split into 2, and each tile has their own set of buttons within them. So if I wanted to split this bottom one vertically, I just do that. And then this red button over here is to remove a tile. So now I'm back to just 2. If I want to go back to 1, there I go. So that's pretty much how you can control the the tiles, how you want to split them up, things like that. So now let's actually go ahead and put in a daily schedule tile for admin shift. I'm going to click the Apply Tile button, and now when I click on that, it opens up this tile catalog. Now this tile catalog has this list on the left. These are all the tiles that we have available to put into our dashboard. Now, like I said, we do have a lot. I'm only showing you the minimum of what you need. But as you can see, there might be some other stuff that down the line, might be of interest to you. So, this is where you can go to kind of play around with what each tile has. But for now, we're doing a daily schedule, so let's click on Daily Schedule. And now what happens is this middle section is going to show a preview of whatever we tell it, whatever shift and settings we tell it to on the right. So the right is where we put in our settings. Now, for today's class, I'm just going to show you what we recommend, at least for starting out, for basic setup. So if you just follow along, the first thing we're going to do under timer settings, we're going to check the box for use timer. What this is doing is setting an automatic refresh rate. So when we click on it, it says 30. VCS recommends that you set it to 300 seconds, so it refreshes itself every 5 minutes. If you do go any faster than that, it's going to force the system to work harder because when a screen refreshes, what it does is it erases all the information and then puts in any brand new information in there. But for the most part, time off, overtime, schedule reassignments, whenever you apply the, functions like that, it refreshes automatically. This is just if you're looking at the screen and you want to see it refresh, it's going to do it every 5 minutes. So we set the timer to 300 seconds. Now if you want to put a title for your tile, like kind of name the tile, you can adjust the title font or the regular font. But this is a daily schedule. It's going to show the shift name up at the top corner, so we don't really need a title when we already have the shift name that's going to show. So then we move down to this middle part of the screen right here, and this is just showing a list of all the shifts that you have set up in your system. And now, like I said, a daily schedule can only show one, shift at a time per tile, so you can only check one shift. So what I'm going to do is just select my admin shift, and then I'm going to scroll down. This days future and days past is if you want to see maybe like if you want to have a tile for yesterday, a tile for today, a tile for tomorrow. If you want to see yesterday, days future would be 1. I'm sorry, days past would be 1. If you want to see tomorrow, days future would be 1. But for daily schedule, you want it to show the current day. So leave it set to 0 for now. Now, here are some of the other settings that VCS recommends. We want to check show active employees only. We don't want to show any inactive employees on the schedule. They're inactive for a reason. We also want to click show denied time off. Now, the reason why we want to show denied time off is because, if someone were to put in for time off and it gets denied and then they call out sick, well, we have that denied time off showing on the schedule. We can report on that. And it also shows people that, they put in for time off, but it got denied, so they're actually going to come into work today. So that's a helpful, tool to have. Also, we want to check under times, show times off. This is good for if your agency allows people to take partial time off. This way we can see the hours that they are not working, so we know when they are coming back in. And then the last thing, if you are using scheduled details such as a car or a radio assignment or AED assignment, something like that, you can just select what details you want to display. So now, even if someone isn't assigned to a particular detail, nothing's going to show up, but if they are, it will show up. So this is saying, what assignments would you like to show, for anyone, if they're assigned or not. So pretty much, if I'm assigned to a call number, it's going to show up. If I'm not, well, then nothing's going to show up, even though this box is checked. It's saying if something's assigned, it will show up. Now, when we're done, if we want to preview what this looks like using this middle screen, we can just click Apply. And now we see it's going to pull our administration shift. And it's going to show today's date. So to actually put it in the tile, we're going to click Apply and Use. So now it's in there, and now you'll notice we get 4 additional buttons in the middle. These do the same thing, split horizontally, split vertically, except now because we have a tile with information in it, now we can say, okay, split it horizontally, but keep this current tile up top, or move it down to the bottom. So with these buttons, the yellow, highlighted area is where the current tile will go after the split. So I'll just put in, I'll put in one more daily schedule just to kind of drill this in. I'm going to split it and keep my admin daily schedule to the left. Now I get another blank tile. Let's add another daily schedule. Put in my settings. Maybe I'll put in PD administration, show active employee, show denied time off, show times off. There we go. Apply and use. So now I'm going to exit out of edit mode so we can see what that looks like once we're done editing. Now this is a good thing to remember. Whenever you're going to exit out of edit mode, always save before exiting. So now, our weekly schedule is blank, monthly schedule is blank, yearly schedule is blank, but our daily schedule now has shifts showing up in there. The reason why no one's in the admin daily schedule is because no one's actually assigned to that shift. But my PD administration has 3 people assigned to it. That's what they're working today. So before we move on to any other, schedule views, because the rest of them are very easy. Daily schedule is probably the most labor-intensive, tile to put in. So the mics are open. Does anyone have any questions about putting in a daily schedule?
No.
I'm sorry, was that a yes or a no?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, so like I said, when it comes to a daily schedule, you might have 6 tiles in here. Like my other profile, as you can see, I have quite a bit. And they're all different sizes, things like that. So let's go back to the admin dashboard. Let's go back into edit mode. One thing I do want to touch on, as far as sizes go, you can adjust the size of the tile just by kind of hovering over the border line, and you'll see I get this arrow icon, and I can just drag the tile over. If I want to make this bigger or make it smaller, I can do that. So that's yet another tool you have to kind of customize your dashboard. If you have a shift that has, say, 50 people working and a shift that only has 5 people working, you can make the more busy shift a bigger tile so you can see more information at once, and shrink the other tile. It's up to you. But, when it comes to the look and feel of your scheduling system, you have a lot of flexibility, and a lot of options to really make it your own. But so let's get into the rest of the schedule views. Like I said, these are easy because with the daily schedule, each shift needs its own tile, whereas for weekly, monthly, and yearly, we only need one tile. We don't need to set up multiple tiles for a weekly schedule because we can show everyone in one shot. So now I click on Weekly Schedule tab. I'm going to apply a tile from the catalog. And now I'm going to scroll down and find Weekly Schedule right here. So once again, I'm going to set it for a 300-second refresh rate. And now here are all my groups in the system. The weekly schedule shows by group. So now it's asking, well, what groups do you want to, show in the weekly schedule? If there are a handful of specific groups that you want to show, you can just manually check the boxes. If you want to show everyone, save yourself some time and just click all, and it will check all the boxes for you. And then after that, it's asking, well, how do you want it organized? Do you want it alphabetically, by group, or by rotation code? I strongly recommend doing it by group. I think it's easier to understand that way. If you have a squad A or a certain group, it's just going to show everyone who belongs to that group kind of lumped together. So if you belong to squad A and you pull up the weekly schedule, you can see just squad A in one shot. Or I'm sorry, all of squad A in one shot. You don't have to kind of bounce all over the screen. So I'm going to set it to group. And then for week start date, does your work week start on a Sunday? Does it start on a Monday or a Saturday? I'll leave it set to Sunday. I'm going to click apply so I can get a preview. And now here it is. My week starts on a Sunday. And I'm sorting it by group. So all my admin people are together. All my records people are together. Squad A is together, Squad B is together. So now I'm going to click Apply and Use. Now I'm going to exit out just to show you what that looks like yet again. So I'm not going to click Save. I'm just going to click Exit Edit Mode. You'll see, warning, changes were made. Would you like to save? So even if you forget to save, you're going to get warned. However, if you don't save, obviously the things you put in will not be there the next time. So just, good rule of thumb, always save. So here we go. It's divided into days of the current week. And we see the shifts that everyone's working. Any day off, code, if someone's on a day off or working overtime. And obviously you don't need to worry about this stuff right now. This is more towards training, but the weekly schedule is going to show you, regular work schedules and any, time off or overtime details. So now the next tab that we have to put in monthly schedule, very similar to the weekly schedule. I'm going to go back into edit mode, go to monthly schedule. I'm going to add a tile. Now here, we have three different options. We have a monthly schedule grid, which is what we're going to use. And that's just going to show you everyone, in a grid style, it's pretty much identical to the weekly schedule. We also have a monthly schedule by employee, which, as you can see, is an employee-specific calendar where you select the employee, you wish to view, and it's only going to show what they're working in a calendar format. And then a monthly schedule is a calendar format that'll show everyone. However, I don't recommend this because if you have a lot of people showing, it's going to get very busy and you're not going to be able to see everything. If you have 30 people working one day, it's going to be a pain to see in this calendar format all 30 people and what they're doing. So I recommend using the monthly schedule grid. I'm going to set a 300-second refresh rate. Now I want to make sure this box is on. Only show active employees. I don't want to see anyone who's not active. And now, once again, it's asking me for the groups I want to show. You can manually check the groups, or you can just click all, apply. And here, let me just kind of blow this up. Here's my monthly schedule preview. I'm going to click apply and use to actually put it in. So let's take a look at that. Save, exit. Once again, divided up by days of the month, organized by group. And it's going to show the same exact stuff. What shift you're working, if you're on time off, if you're working overtime. So that's the monthly schedule. And the yearly schedule, our last one, like I said before, it is employee specific. Obviously, trying to show multiple people's yearly schedules would, one, be very hard to read. The screen would be very busy, and two, it would take a lot of processing power. So for this one, you just select the employee you wish to view. So I'm going to go down to yearly schedule. Once again, set my 300-second refresh rate. And that's it. That's all I need to do. I'm going to click apply, apply and use, save, and exit. So now it's divided up, for Darren, for January, on January 4th, he's working the day shift. So that's how it kind of works. And so, for at least basic setup-wise, these are the tabs that we recommend you put in. Like I said, if you want to play around and add a tab, and put in different tiles, kind of experiment a little bit and see what works best for you. That's a good way of kind of customizing the system to really make it your own. So the mics are open. Does anyone have any questions about setting up a desktop dashboard profile? Now, one thing I do want to add, in that guide that is attached to this class, it also has a detailed list of what each tile in the catalog does. So that way you're not really, you don't have to expect, you kind of know what you're looking for and what each tile is going to show you when and if you want to put, additional tiles into your dashboard. All right, well, if no one has any questions about setting up a dashboard, we can move along to the last part of the class, the web dashboard. So now the web dashboard is really just a daily schedule for the web portal, the website that most of your department's going to be using. So for setting that up, we need to go to the administration menu on the main menu, and keep in mind everyone must be assigned to a web dashboard profile in order to use the web portal. If they don't have a dashboard assigned to them, they won't be able to see anything when they go onto the website. So when we go to the admin menu, we want to click on Company Center, and it should be the last screen in the list, Web Dashboard. When we click on that, so now here is our web dashboard setup screen. Now, similar to the dashboard, the desktop dashboard, you can have multiple. So like I have a records and a patrol profile. I can also have patrol. That's one web dashboard. I have a VCS web dashboard. You can have as many as you want. Once again, if you want to get like specific per department, or if you just want one generic one, you can do that as well. And so all we need to do is just tell it what shifts we want to show on the daily schedule. And that's pretty much it. We can fit up to 6 tiles per page. So if you have more than 6 shifts you need to show, you might have additional pages. So like here's my first page where I'm showing these shifts, and then I have a page 2 that shows these shifts. So kind of starting from scratch, I'm going to click New, and I need to give it a name. I'm just going to call this Administration. Now I have one page with no shifts put in, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a shift. I'm just going to click Select Shift, and then it gives me a list. Now, just like the daily schedule on the regular dashboard, you can only do 1 shift per tile, so to speak. So I'm just going to select Admin, and that's all you have to do, pretty much. You can, if you want to sort it a particular way, you can select what it sorts by. It defaults to sorting by title than seniority, so your higher ranking employees will show up above the lower ranking employees. For example, for say like a police department, a lieutenant would be above a sergeant who is above an officer. And then if you have the same title, it looks at your specific seniority that you set in the employee profile. If you want to do it, just by employee seniority or by, job rank, anything like that, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. For basic setup, I would recommend just going with title and seniority. I'm going to go to the next shift, do PD Administration, sort that by title and seniority. I could just, put in all the shifts I want to show. And maybe I want to add more shifts to this this dashboard, but I ran out of room. So I'm going to click Add Page to add a second page to it, and it just it opens up 6 more slots. I can just continue to put in my shifts. There we go. So when I'm done, I can click Save, and it saves it. Now, if you ever needed to remove a shift, well, it's really simple. All you have to do is just click on Select Shift for that particular tile, and just click None, and it wipes it out. Now, if you ever wanted to delete a page, just select that tab so it opens it up and click Delete Page. Now I'm down to 1 page. Make sure you save after any changes. So let me open up the mics. Does anyone have any questions about the setup of a web dashboard? Keep in mind the web dashboard, this is something that you're going to get more into come training time for setup. You're not really going to be utilizing the web dashboard at this point in time. Once you get further along in your training, you're going to be using it a lot. So that was it as far as what we were covering in today's class. So I do want to make a note, that if you're doing this, say after this class, you're putting it in, um, and you need help, you will have this video as well as that guide for reference. And then in general, if you ever need help with setup or, maybe if you missed a portion of the class and you would like some one-on-one time, you can sign up for a help-out session. It's on the same page where you go to register for all the other classes. The help-out session is just, a 45-minute one-on-one session where we will work directly on your system, and we can take care of any issues or anything like that that we may need to. So between that, the video, and the guide, you have all the resources necessary to successfully, build and use your system. So before I end the meeting, I guess just one last, does anyone have any questions? I want to make sure everyone knows what they're doing, before we end it.
I have one.
Show again. Yep, go ahead.
I have a question, and I may be jumping ahead here. We're legacy users, so some of this looks familiar to us, but if we wanted to limit somebody from viewing particular pages, or if we build a shift and a view for one specific group, how would we limit that so that other people don't see it? And I may be jumping ahead.
So there's two ways. One, through security, privileges, right?
Right.
So if I have, let me get out of this screen.
And I'll give you an example. And I'll give you an example. Patrol doesn't see admin. We don't want them to see admin.
So if you have like a kind of like one master dashboard with an admin shift showing, but in the patrol security it says they're not allowed to see anyone in the admin group, well, this shift tile is just going to be blank for them.
Okay.
So
okay, that makes sense.
You can control what screens are available, but for the actual information inside that screen, you configure that through security.
Okay.
So same thing, like on the weekly schedule, you might say, show me everyone, but if in the patrol security profile you say, you can see everyone but admin, it's just these lines will be blank. That's
okay.
it.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Did anyone else have any other questions? All right. Well, if no one else has any questions, I won't take up any more of your time. So that's it for today's class. Like I said, if you need extra help, we do offer Helpouts. You'll have this video available, and the guide is very helpful as far as what certain tiles do and what they mean, and do you need them? So but definitely play around with the system. I promise you, once you put in one tile, you get the hang of it pretty quickly. Setting up a dashboard profile, doesn't take long at all. So with that being said, I will go ahead and end the meeting. And I hope everyone has a very good day. And I'm sure I'll be working with you guys, sometime soon.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay.